coming out of the Raging Tempest set, and one of them is actually insane. I actually read one of these cards and thought it was absolutely broken. So let's just get right into it, if my mouse will actually ever scroll. The first card we have here is Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. It is a level 7 Dark Dragon type Xyz Pendulum effect monster with 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense, and a Pendulum scale of 1. So the Pendulum scale is the reason why it's already broken enough, because it's a 1 scale. But here is what makes it even worse. The Pendulum effect is once per turn. If this card isn't a card in your other Pendulum zone, place one. Or if there isn't another card in your Pendulum zone, place one Pendulum monster directly from your deck into the Pendulum zone. So here's a few things that you could probably do with this card. The first, this effect is really interesting simply because you can play it not only in your Perform Pile deck, you can also play this in Metaphos, because Metaphos' scales are 8. And this is immediately a 1 scale, and it's a pretty good one. Not to mention, you can also, when this card dies, it goes face up into the Pendulum into your extra deck, which means you can summon a 3,000 Beast Stake every single turn. This card is absolutely insane for that effect. By the way, I don't know why they put level, because it's supposed to be a rank, but that's neither here nor there. But that first effect is a 1 card scale if you don't already have a scale. So it requires 2 level 7 Dragon type monsters. The monster effect that this card is in your. You can potential summon this. If you can potential summon level 7 monsters, you can potential summon this card face from your extra deck. We kind of already knew this. The first effect is this card gains the following effect if an Xyz monster is used as Xyz material to summon this card. It can attack up to twice per battle phase. That's fine. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, destroy all cards your opponent controls until this card turn ends. This card gains 200 attack for each destroyed card. That's an absolutely crazy effect. Now, keep in mind you have to Xyz summon Xyz summon a monster with this card with the Xyz material. So the summon conditions on that. So the conditions on that effect are strenuous enough to where this card's not absolutely broken. But if you get this effect off, you're probably going to win that game, because not only are you gaining a huge amount of advantage by just destroying the cards alone. If it does destroy the cards alone, you can possibly go for a game with this card. It's possibly a game-winning card, so it's really good. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed by a battle or card effects, you could place this card in your Pendulum zone. So basically what this card is, what you do is when you first Xyz summon it, then when it dies, you put it in your extra deck, it goes face up in your extra deck, and then you can activate the effect willingly to put it in your Pendulum zone. So basically you always have the 1 scale, which is really interesting, if you choose to summon it that way. So if you choose to use it that way. And it has some more Ancient Gear stuff as well. This is Ancient Gear Fiend. Is a level 8 Earth Machine type fusion effect monster with 1,000 attack and 1,800 defense. And the fusion materials are 2 Ancient Gear monsters. So the effect has to be good in order for this to be even relevant. Because the stats are so low for a level 8 monster nowadays, this card might not be relevant because of that effect. You can only use the second effect once per turn. This card is unaffected by other card effects. That's pretty good because it lets you play Dark Hole on your turn and stuff like that, and it makes them not affected by that card. And during your main phase, you can inflict 1,000 points of damage to your opponent. So this is a recurring effect. You could trigger it every single time, but I don't think that's a very necessary effect. I mean, 1,000 damage is fine. You can go to game with it, but it's not very good. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So here's the ups and downs with this effect. The ups with this card, it lets you summon Ancient Gear Golem without worrying about its effect. That's fine. That's all fine. You can special summon Reactor Dragon. You can special summon Ancient Gear Wyvern if that's what you're floating right now. But it has to be destroyed by a battle and sent to the graveyard. So if it's destroyed by card effect, which is a likely scenario, you're not going to be able to get this effect. So I don't think this card is very good. But it is good to see that we're getting an Ancient Gear fusion type. I guess Ancient Gears were already good enough as it is. They could summon Golem. They could summon Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem pretty easily anyway with that new Hunting Hound card. But I guess this card's fine. It's okay. I think if only you're gonna play this at 1, and you're gonna play this when you have game, and you're gonna activate the effect so you can deal 1,000 points of damage. You're not gonna use the third effect as often. So then we have another Ancient Gear card. This is Ancient Gear Reborn. It is a continuous trap card. You can only control 1 Ancient Gear Reborn. Fair enough. Once per turn, if you control no monsters, you could target 1 Ancient Gear monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then it gains 200 attack. So basically, you could play like, hey, Reactor Dragon, special summon it, gains 200 attack. And you can just come off from there. It's a pretty good card. So you might play this card at 2, you might play this card at 1, but this card is still fine. And we have a new archetype coming out in the Raging Tempest. This is a Spirits. This is actually a relatively interesting archetype. It's something it's a mechanic we haven't really seen at all, and that is a Ritual Spirit monster. So this is a Spirit Lord Hikokujaku. It's a level 8 Wing Beast type Ritual Spirit effect monster with 3,000 attack and 2,500 defense. So the stats on this card are pretty good for a level 8. So you can use this card with the ritual card is a spirit calling, so it must be special summon, but it cannot be ritual summoned by any other means, but it can be special summoned. So if this card dies, you can call the Hondo it. So it's pretty good. If this card is ritual summoned, you can return up to 3 monsters your opponent controls to the owner's hand. Then you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower spirit monster from your hand, ignoring the summoning conditions. This effect is pretty good. When this card is ritual summoned, it doesn't target, so you could just say, "Hey, you're 3 Cosmo Dark Destroyer." Laughably, you could return those to the hand, and then you could special summon, I don't know, like Tsukuyomi, and then just like you won't get the effect because Tsukuyomi is when it's normal or flip summon. Specifically, but you can have like other synergy cards with it. It's pretty good. You can play other spirit monsters. I'm not sure what other spirit monsters that are relatively decent. You can play a Sure Priest. No, that card's good. The second effect is during your end phase of the turn of which this card was ritual summoned, return this card to the owner's hand. And if you do, special summon 2 spirit bird tokens. They're Wing Beast, wind level 4. 1500 attack, 1500 defense. The tokens on this are actually relatively decent in the terms of stats, so it's pretty good. And we have the ritual card itself. This is a Spirit Calling, and my mouse will actually work. Thank you. It's a ritual card. This card can be used to ritual summon Spirit Hikokujaku, and the other one. There's apparently another one that we haven't seen yet. Tribute monsters from your hand or field, or banish spirit monsters from your graveyard whose level is total that monster. So there has to be some way to recoup some of those cards. So this is a good card. You're probably gonna play this at 3. You're probably gonna play this with Bonjour and stuff like that. It's really good. And this is a Spirit Bird Kanagi Suru. It is a level 4 Wing Beast type of a Spirit effect monster with 1500 attack and 1500 defense. Cannot be special summoned, but remember, the ritual monster that we just talked about can special summon this card ignoring the summoning conditions. Once per turn, if a spirit monster other than this card is normal summoned or special summoned, and this card is in the monster zone, apparently you can put this card in the spell card zone. You can activate this effect. Draw 1 card, so that's pretty good. During the end phase of this turn, if this card was normal or flip summon, return it to the hand. So basically, your normal spirit shenanigans. But this card is pretty good because it lets you draw. And we have a Spirit Healing. It is a continuous trap card. You will activate the first effect. You can activate 1 effect of Spirit Healing per turn. If a face-up spirit monster you control is returned to your hand while this card is in your spell and trap card zone, you can target 1 card the opponent controls and then destroy it. That's an alright effect. It's just good, simple spot removal. When this card, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish 1 spirit monster from your graveyard to negate the attack, then end the battle phase. This effect is actually really good. It's a Cyframe Lord. It's a Cyframe Gear Beta. That's pretty good. I like this card. But this card is pretty good. Simply because it lets you negate the attack and then end the battle phase. It also doesn't target, so it's pretty good. So yeah, that's all we have to talk about for you guys today. Tell me what you guys think about these cards. Tell me what you think about the newest spirit monsters. Tell me what you think about Tell me what you think about the new Ancient Gear support as well. Tell me what you think about that nice broken Odd Eyes Xyz monster. So anyway, guys, this has been Team Mofos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.